Hey everyone, I'm Justin, creator of Atari IO, serious retro gamer since 1993, VR innovator, all-round retro enthusiast, and DeLorean owner since the 90s. And we're going live once again on a Saturday night. I'm here with the beautiful Gianna, who's going to be holding the camera, the phone. And we're playing Sega Master System. I'm going to be playing Hang On, which is a very cool game. Last week we were here playing Outrun. We're going to go through Hang On. I'm pretty good at this. We'll see how far I can get. I never really liked this game until this week. This was one of the pack-in games with the Sega Master System. And growing up, it was my friend that had a Master System before I did. I had the Atari 7800, I had the NES, and before the Genesis, I saw the Master System. What a cool system. Nice graphics, great games, had the cartridges and the little game cards, before TurboGrafx. I thought it was the coolest. And I'd go over to his house, and this game always reminds me of the beginning of summer. I'd go over to his house at summer, and I would see this Master System sitting on the floor. That awesome control panel on it, that looked like a computer control panel out of like a spy movie or Star Trek, something like that. And I'd be like, dude, let's play this instead of Nintendo. Let's see what's going on. So we'd get it fired up. And you know what? I grew up loving Outrun. Outrun was the game I wanted to play most on Sega, but he didn't have it. I knew Pole Position and Pole Position 2 from Atari. I knew Outrun. But he had Hang On, and I would pull this out. It would always be the double cartridge that would have Hang On and Safari Hunt. I had to say to my friend, "Hey John, let's play this." No, I don't really want to play that. He'd smirk at it. I'd put it in, get playing, and he'd just say that it was a cruddy game and he didn't really want to play it. And I would get started, and I have to say, look, I'm from Detroit. I'm a car guy. Even as a kid, I loved cars. I wanted that red Testarossa. I wanted that DeLorean going down the sunset. I wanted all of that. And I saw this, and I liked the scenery. I liked the vibe, the whole synthwave thing going on. But I wasn't so much a motorcycle guy. I didn't dislike motorcycles, but I thought, I'd rather play Outrun. And he wouldn't play this game. So I just had it in my mind that, this is like the freebie pack-in game. It's not that great. And, I don't know. I never got into it, and I didn't know anyone who did. Super Hang On was a different story. But I will tell you, in the past week, I have a new appreciation for this game. I put this in after our last live stream last week. Gianna and I did Outrun. I mastered that thing, got to the end. And I thought, well, let's see what else is up here. I don't know if you can see in the dark. I've got a little stack of games I have out. And I thought, well, I don't know. Let's give Hang On a try. You know what? It's the beginning of summer. I'm in that Hang On mood. It made me think of being at my friend's house in 5th grade, putting this thing in and him not wanting to play. And I played it the first time after, 20-something years. I didn't like it. Like last Thursday, I didn't like this game. But I thought there's something I'm missing. Let me push myself to play this a few more times. And then I got it. There is strategy woven into this game that separates this from Outrun and from some of the other racers. I always felt this game, it kind of sits somewhere between Pole Position 2, which is the game I had on Atari 7800, and Outrun, which is like the definitive Sega racer for me. It has the continues. You get to the end of the lap and it gives you more time. You continue on. The scenery changes just like an Outrun. And then it's got all this stuff at the top, like in Pole Position, the stoplights that start. But because it's a motorcycle game, they've woven in the strategy of, when you're going around a corner, you can accelerate through it. It tends to push you to the side. You can let up off the gas and just turn into the curve and coast. And that keeps you going. There is some real strategy to this game, and we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see how far I can go. So let's get cooking. going to start at level 1 and continue. Best time to shift through first and second is right at 100 kilometers an hour, and then when you hit 200. And this feels much more like a driving game than a racing game. It's like the goal is to not crash and make your time rather than just, come in first place. You're going for that continue, that extended play. So you'll see like an outrun every time you hit that extended play, the scenery changes. You don't get the fork in the road where, you kind of choose your own path. It's linear. And it will repeat every 5 or 6 stages. And it is a little bit more, it's a little more difficult. You go off the side of the road here, you're going to run into a rock or a bush or something that's going to kill you. This also reminds me in a way almost more of Enduro on the Atari 2600 than it reminds me of Outrun. Because you notice these stages change kind of gradually. It's not so dramatic like it is in Outrun. It's like you're crossing a continent. A big part of my strategy here is just to not crash, obviously, and bank time. Every time you get extended gameplay, you're banking your time. So it's like you're saving up your seconds for a crash or two. This is my favorite level here. It's Miami, 2 in the morning. And that's basically when I would have been playing this at my friend's house. During the summer, South Florida, I would have had a long car trip, through this very thing that we're seeing here, the real-life version of it. And the sun comes up. And now we're basically, this is the same as the first level, the scenery, except instead of daytime, it's like morning. So the colors are orange instead of green landscape. And that's kind of what makes me think of Enduro on Atari 2600. It's like this is a 24-hour adventure, in my mind anyway. Congratulations. So you get bonus points for every second. So it says challenge the next course. It's the same thing that we just did, except a little harder. And this just keeps going. So I'll play through this a few more times, guys. Basically, this is the game. And it just keeps getting ramped up harder and harder. Hey, Gimpy Gaming Gaiden. Good to have you here, man. Anyway, so this is the game. I'm going to play through this a few more times and just keep racking up points. Last week I set a high score somewhere in, I think it was like 1.7 million. That took me a little while to play through. Hey, before I continue on, though, I want to give a shout out to Atari Creep. He's usually here in the chat. Follow Atari Creep on Instagram, and of course, join us in the Atari.io forums. Atari Creep has his Alzheimer's walk going on right now. He does that every year. I would invite all of you to hop on over to Atari Creep's Instagram, find out the information, maybe sponsor him in his walk, even if it's $1 or $2. That would mean a lot to him. He lost his dad to Alzheimer's a few years back, and he walks every year in his honor in the summer. He's got that going on. Atari Creep's a great guy, Chris. So if you know him, donate. If you don't know him, give him go follow him on Instagram. Great guy. Anyway, I'm going to continue and see how far I can get. What just happened? Okay, we have a glitch in the Matrix. This is one of those game systems where the pause is not on the controller. It's on the game system. It's on the console. And I'm not sure what just happened. But, okay. Well, there you go, folks. We're glitching out. I'm going to still keep racing here, and we'll just, I guess, start over. That happened when I went to touch the pause button. Let's see if there's a software error. There is. Wow, what is going on? All right. Let's go. 100 shift into second. 200 shift into third. We're in top gear. Time to hang on. You know, and I believe I made it through all the courses without a crash just a moment ago. Yeah, I didn't crash. And you know, the best advice I can give you, if you're looking for hang-on advice, if you want to be a Master System pro, and you want to master the Master System pack-in, the best advice I can give you is, you know, after you've played this game like 10 times, just relax. Take a deep breath. Don't be, there's some games where, these Twitch games are so intense and you have to hyper-focus. This is one of those games that you can just kind of zone out to. You know, you kind of get in the zone and, just kick back and put your brain on autopilot. Next thing you know, you have like 1 million points. Back in Miami again. This has a very Akira feel to it. See, if you turn too hard into the curve and accelerate, you continue to slide against the direction you're steering. It's like understeer. Congratulations. So I made about the same time I did last time, maybe a second quicker. 134, 190. And we'll continue. Probably the closest game that you can compare this to. Oh crap! I wiped out. Closest game you could compare this to at the time. This is an early Master System game in the U.S. I would compare this with Mach Rider on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I would compare this favorably to Mach Rider. I thought Mach Rider was in all, it's a pretty weak title. I don't think it's that great. I'm sure there's some Mach Rider fans out there. I don't want to knock it too hard. I mean, it's not a terrible game, but it's an early NES game, and I think that this is substantially better. I also compare this to Motor Psycho on Atari 7800. Graphically, this is probably a little bit better. Motor Psycho gets a lot of hate. I think it's pretty cool because you have these massive hills. You can accelerate over them and jump over other dudes. It's almost like it's almost like Road Rash on 8-bit Atari. Not quite. And that too reminds me a little bit of Pole Position Motor Psycho on the 7800. It's got those unique 7800 graphics, and you open the game opens with 4 different tracks. I would take Motor Psycho over Mach Rider any day. However, as loyal an Atari aficionado as I am, I would still take Hang On over Motor Psycho. The other thing with Motor Psycho, and this is the problem with Atari, Motor Psycho came out like 1990. Like, that should have been 1986. If Atari, under Jack Tramiel, were serious about challenging Nintendo, they would have stepped up their game early on. But meanwhile, you know, imagine being a kid in 1986, 87, 88, and bringing home that Sega Master System for the first time from KB Toys, from Toys R Us, from Sears, getting it for your birthday or getting it for Christmas. And you know, you knew you had something special. You knew you had something that not every other kid had at school. You had something to tell people about. Something that, you know, maybe it didn't have Mario on it, but it's graphically superior a lot of the times. And, you know, opening it up, hooking up the, you know, getting those AV connections set up to the TV, powering the system on for the first time, checking out that card slot, and putting in the pack-in game, and, you know, firing it up and seeing Hang On and Astro Warrior, or Hang On and Safari Hunt, and playing this, you know, sitting around with your brother or sister, your mom or your dad, your best friends, and trying to get through this course and thinking, oh my god, this is kind of intense. And it's like, it's making a meal out of it. You're taking like the most basic game on the system, and at least for those first few nights, you got enjoyment out of this like nothing else. And that's what injects nostalgia into some of these retro games. Some of these retro games that, you know, there are a lot... They're still making games for the Master System, like in Brazil. But really with any system, it's those early games that are more often than not the weakest offerings. You know, by the time it becomes a classic system, a retro system, you look back on its life and its library of games. The early ones tend to be 80% kind of weak, with a few of those pillar titles worked in. Super Mario or Mario 64, whatever the launch titles might be, or, you know, those first year titles. But those are the ones we remember fondly, because those are, you know, you've got your reserve at Toys R Us, you're so excited, saved up for the system, and those first few games mean everything. And really, this is about those memories that we share with our friends and family, as much as it is about preserving the history and the technology that went into this. Ooh, I saw that coming. It's not quick enough. But that's alright, I've banked my time, and I'm good. It slowly gets harder and harder as we go on here, though. Woof. So, would I recommend Hang On for the Sega Master System? If you're just starting out with a Master System, you want to build your collection, I absolutely would recommend it. I think you can probably pick it up for not too much money. And you know what? There's plenty of them out there. This was the pack-in game in the US with the Master System. So really, any complete Master System set should have Hang On with it. So yeah, pick it up, doesn't hurt. You're not going to spend a lot of money on it. And you know what? Maybe you're not into the racers, maybe you don't like these games, maybe you play this a couple times, it's like, but at least you've got it in your collection. It's part of the Master System experience. So I would absolutely pick it up if you can. And funny story, my story is my first Master System I ended up getting, it was the Master System 2. It was the smaller re-release, the Junior. And that had Alex Kidd in Miracle World built into it. That was Sega's mascot before Sonic, kind of like Mario. And I didn't have this right away. So this game I'm playing, this is the actual cartridge that was my friend's cartridge that he kept saying was crappy. When I got a Master System, I was over at his house. I said, hey, you think that game's crappy? Why don't you give it to me? Why don't you let me have it? So he did. That's what we're playing. Well, look, guys, I think I'm going to end here while I am ahead, because I could play this game for another 2 hours before I die. And, I'm relaunching my YouTube channel. Maybe sometime soon I'll do a long live stream of this game on there, and we'll see how far I can get. I'm sure most of you know Instagram limits these live streams to an hour, and I think you guys get the idea of this game. Cool game, had fun playing it. I want to thank Gianna for holding the phone. And again, guys, this game isn't for everyone, but as a pack-in title, there are some good memories from it, and it's a fun game to be like, you know what, I'm going to master this. I am going to kick this game's butt. And there are some elements that make it fun, because it is like a strategy that you have to build, and then it becomes a little bit addictive. Anyways, I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. All of you watching the replay, thank you. Don't forget to stop by Atari.io. Check out the forums. Join us. You can find me there. You can find BTB there, Atari Creep, Storm Surge, the rest of the gang, Vince. We're all over there, and we hope you'll join us. We got some things coming up. We have our Summer Pizza Festival coming up on the 21st of this month, and part of that is a big 3-day weekend. We're going to do some cool things, including a sidewalk sale. Everyone on there is going to be in the marketplace of the forums, buying, selling, trading, kind of doing a big summer blast. And it will be a good time to head on over there and check out. Maybe you can find some good trades, make some new friends. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. And again, don't forget to stop by Atari Creep on Instagram. Give him a follow, and if you know him, sponsor his walk, even if it's just for $1. That would be a great thing to do. All right, guys, hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.